Okay, we're nearly there, guys. I think what we'll do is we'll kick off the webinar now. So again, you're very, very welcome. And welcome to this webinar on Enterprise CRM and sales for SAP Business One. I'm Sharon Mulligan, the product expert here with Enterprise. So in terms of SAP Business One and my history, I've been there since its inception in 2003. 2005, gosh, it's been so long at this stage. So in terms of historical value and historical experience, we've got the same amount of experience, I'm sure, as everybody else there in terms of all you SAP Business One partners out there. So I'm joined today by my colleague, Jane Sheehan, who will perform a demonstration on the Enterprise application. So let's just kickstart the presentation here. So first of all, just a little bit about ourselves and who we are. So as you know, Enterprise, and in particular, Milner Brown, who you're more familiar with from SAP Business One as a partner. So we've been around for quite some time. You can see there in terms of number of employees, and we're across 10 locations, 15 years in business, but obviously a lot more of that in terms of years of experience across the company. So a lot of people you're familiar with in terms of sales and consultants, they've been with the company a very long time. So you can see that, the people that are there from the very, very outset and beginning of SAP Business One, and then of course being able to provide the background and knowledge with helping with the rollout of Enterprise over the last few years. So it's important to us to have people with the knowledge and to have, and to support those people as well in their journey. And of course, I'm sure along with yourselves, we've achieved certain awards over the years with regards to SAP Business One. So what is our background and our story? So obviously at the root of SAP Business One, Enterprise is an ERP solution, but obviously its roots are firmly in SAP Business One, supporting customers globally with the full integration. So we developed Enterprise primarily as an add-on for SAP Business One. And the reason for that was that we felt there was a niche in, where people needed something that was off-premise. They needed availability to access their solution anytime, anywhere. And I guess that's probably the tagline we've used all the way through, because the idea behind that is that you can be on your mobile phone, on your laptop, on your tablet, no matter where you are, in the van, on the road, and even with offline capability as well through the apps, that you can get access to Enterprise, but at the same time, updating your data back in SAP Business One in real time. So in 2015, that's when we started to write the code for Enterprise solely as an add-on. But since then, and primarily in 2018, that has changed. It's now its own entity and its own ERP solution, and it's in its own right for the SMEs. So it's grown in functionality over the years, and obviously we have ensured complete synchronization with SAP Business One at all times. So just to give you some statistics around automation in recurring manual process. So for example, at the moment, 81% of CRM users are now operating CRM software from multiple devices. 65% of salespeople using mobile CRM reach their sales targets, as opposed to 22% of salespeople using non-mobile CRMs. So that's a good statistic. I think what it shows is having accessibility on the road and being able to be on the road. And I know of the last 2 years, that's, the difficulty is people haven't been able to, number one, potentially be on the road, but number two, being in the office. So having accessibility anywhere, anytime has been important when you haven't got access to on-premise capability through the SAP Business One. 34% of companies have shipped orders late because they sold a product that was out of stock. So having visibility to your stock, what is available to sell, what's on order, what's committed to your existing customers, and being able to see that and being able to fulfill your quotes and orders as and when required. So what are the challenges with the alternative CRMs? Well, of course, access. Now, okay, we've highlighted here, with SAP Business One, because again, it's on premise, it's on site. So salespeople have to be in the office to get that access. So with Enterprise, we can bypass that particular problem straight away because we have the mobile, excuse me, and tablet access. Ease of use. So again, not taking away, of course, from SAP Business One and its UI, but it can make it a little bit more challenging if UIs are not simple to use and simple to learn without having consistent and constant training. So you need a UI that somebody can dial in, start using a system without having, and to self-help as well at the same time, without having to get the detailed training that perhaps they would have had to get with an on-premise system. Inventory and ERP integration, so important, of course. So with standalone CRMs that don't connect to the SAP Business One system or to Enterprise or any other form of inventory management system, it makes it incredibly difficult to know and understand what fulfillments can happen when they are quoting or placing orders with their customers. So what do we do in terms of sales and CRM within Enterprise? And you can see there just a little bit of a GIF, and obviously we'll show you a lot more, of course, during the demonstration. It's easy to use. It's got a modern UI, and that was key for us to ensure that. And we, of course, we have even over since 2015, but the initial outlay of the development of the code to 2018, and even to now in the last 2 years, our UI has changed. So we're always looking, always listening to see what is best, to see what works best for the end user, and to make it attractive and modern and obviously moving with the times. Secondly, then we have cloud and mobile access. So that's important. You can see here that no matter where you are, and I've said it all the time from the very beginning, that the whole point of Enterprise is to be able to access it anytime, anywhere. So whether that's on your mobile, whether that's on your laptop, whether that's on your tablet. And even if you're in the back of the van and you've got your Cell app or Pipeline app to hand, that you adding them in draft format, and when you get to apply those and submit those, which will not only update Enterprise, but will of course update SAP Business One in real time. So that's a really, I think, attractive asset with Enterprise being in the cloud and on the mobile. So again, I've mentioned already, so full SAP Business One integration. So real-time integration with SAP Business One is so important. So when you add an order through Enterprise, it updates to SAP Business One. And exactly the same in reverse, if you add a sales order to SAP Business One, it automatically updates on the cloud to Enterprise. You don't have to click on synchronizations, you don't have to click on anything, visibility over available stock, committed stock, purchase orders, etc. It's all available through Enterprise. And of course, the automatic logging of data into SAP Business One is seamless. So now I'm going to hand over to Jane Sheehan. So Jane is in our sales team and she'll give you an introduction there, and hope you enjoy. Thank you.
Hello everyone, thanks so much for joining. I'm just going to share my screen now, so just bear with me one moment. Right. Okay, hi and welcome everyone. I'm going to give you just a quick overview before I go on to the CRM and sales of our home screen. So this is what you look like. This is what it looks like when you log into Enterprise. So obviously up here you've got kind of your search engine and things like that. To your left you've got all of the modules that are associated with whatever package that you're using. And here's probably my favorite part of the home screen. It's the transaction feed. It's extremely powerful. And obviously if Enterprise is integrated with SAP Business One, so basically what the transaction feed is that everything is updated in real time. So you can see sales coming and going from your business in real time. And if you're integrated with SAP Business One, that'll be automatically generated here as well. You can filter it really, really easily just by selecting this. You can select what you want to see and deselect what you don't want to see. So that's really, really useful. So here we have our activities. So I don't have any at the moment. So I have a very nice, easy day ahead of me. But you can kind of, schedule calls here. And if you utilize the delivery app in our within Enterprise, you can allocate deliveries here as well, which is really useful. Your notifications is here on the right. So that's anything that needs your kind of immediate approval. So nothing can kind of slip between the cracks. So as you can see here, I've got some purchase orders and some sales orders and things like that. So you just need to approve them. It'll also be highlighted here as well. So yeah, that's really useful here. So I'm going to show you here is your favorites. So it's basically what do you use Enterprise for the most? Is it for generating quotes? Is it for services? And you can just kind of give yourself a little shortcut and save yourself some time. And the same can kind of be said for favorites, but it's in relation to your, what customers do you deal with the most? What suppliers do you deal with the most? And what prospects do you deal with the most as well? And a very, very important feature down here, even though it's very small, it's powerful. It's our help box here. So we try to make you as self-sufficient as possible. So here, if you have any issues at all, you can just kind of search for what you're looking for, and it'll generate articles and some videos just to help you out. And if you still don't find your answer, we're not going to leave you on your own. We have a really dedicated support team that will be there 24 hours a day, 5 days a week. Okay, so you can also obviously kind of manage your widgets and kind of tailor it, to, whatever you're kind of looking for your own business. So I'm going to go straight to CRM now. So here we go. So as you can see, you've got kind of some really useful KPIs here in your dashboard. So it kind of gives you an overview of how your company is doing, how your sales team are doing, just at a glance in terms of activities, in terms of lead generation and things like that. So you can see here leads value by stage. So you've got your won or lost leads this month, leads value by closing month stage. You've got your lost leads here located here and your won leads. So it's really, really useful because at a glance, you can kind of have an overview of what's going on in your company. So yeah, I'm going to move on to the pipeline here. Okay, so this is your pipeline. I know that people kind of have different stages. If you're in, different companies have different stages. So you can kind of have as many stages or as few stages as you want. Here in Enterprise, we have lead, first meeting, second meeting, quotation, negotiation, and order. And obviously, if you have something different in SAP, if you're integrated with SAP Business One, it'll be displayed here as well. So anything that's displayed in SAP will be displayed here. So this is exactly what your kind of pipeline looks like. It can give you an overview of, how does my month look? Am I going to hit my targets? You can easily move things along the pipeline just by kind of dragging and dropping into the next stage. So it's really, really easy to use. And you can also filter by, is it a salesperson or a company? So you can filter it really, really easily. So that's really, really good. You can kind of also drill into them and take a look and edit them as you go. So that's great. So I'm going to move on to leads. So I'm going to move on to leads. So it's kind of similar to the pipeline, but it's kind of more of a report. So you can access all of your opportunities here. So that'll be obviously synced. All of your opportunities within SAP and in Enterprise are going to be synced here. And you can search for it via salesperson for the actual opportunity itself, or the actual company. So we'll take a little look here at this lead. So it has all the information here, the progress, the activities, the status, how many employees, and you can add information as you go as well. So down here, you can kind of add activities. If there's more kind of, meetings that need to be had, more calls that need to be scheduled, you can add them here. You can add an attachment. So that can be anything like, a bank statement, or it can be a contract that you want to have associated with this particular opportunity. And you can add a stage. So again, you can move it along the pipeline this way really easily as well. And also you can add a document. So if you're moving it along the pipeline, sometimes you'll go into a quotation stage. So you can add, it'll always be an Enterprise kind of related document. So you can add it from here. It can be a quote or anything like that. So that's what they all look like. I'll just go back. So yeah, and you can filter it and kind of generate the report any way you kind of want. Here we go. You can see if they're open or closed, where their status is. So is it at the first meeting? Is it in a quotation? Still a lead? so you can see like what you need to do in order to move it along the pipeline. So here you've got your quotes. So you can access the quotes, you can access quotes from obviously the CRM or as well in the sales module, which I'll show you in a moment. So again, you can kind of just see all of the quotes that have been generated for all of your opportunities. And you can see, are they open? So you can see here with the little lock that these are all open. You can search for it and filter it really easily. So I can search by customer name. You can, the posting date, the expiry date, or if you have a reference number or anything like that. So yeah, that's great. And you can obviously generate a new sales quote here as well. And you can differentiate whether it's an item or if it's a service quote. So I'm going to move on to your prospects. Very, very easy to use. You can add a prospect very easily. So I'll just add new prospect. And, so it can be, you'll add a prospect code. So we'll say prospect name, and it's really easy to use, and you can just save it there, and you can add their address, all of their details. And then if it's a customer as well that you're adding, they'll already be within the system, so you can just add new details here. So I'll go here. And these are all of the customers that have been associated with opportunities within the system. Okay, so I'm going to move on to the sales module now. So this is what the sales module looks like. You have a lot of tiles associated here with the sales module. Again, you have a dashboard here, really useful KPIs from a sales perspective. You can kind of access everything from here. So you've got all of your open quotes, all of your open orders, open deliveries, open returns. And you can take a look here at your sales revenue and filter it. So you can do it by month. You can do it for every 3 months, 6 months, or 12 months. So in Enterprise, we can kind of tailor and customize reports for you. So any reports that you require for your business, we would have them located here. So it'd be really easy to access from here as well. And it's just really easy, particularly from the app point of view. You can just kind of access and have an overview of your entire business just from this one kind of dashboard. And obviously you can add activities from here as well. You can see where the top sales are coming from. So that's really, really powerful. Again, you've got your quotations. As I said, you can access your quotes from your sales module or the CRM. So these are all of your sales modules. Again, you can see the status, and you can search from, open orders, closed orders, if you've got a reference number, the customer name, and anything like that. You can also, over here, decide to, reset the grid, reload the data. That's really easy. So to go from a quote to an order, you can actually just say, I'm just going to create an order if you know it's going through. But to go from a quote to an order is really, really easy. So we'll just drill into an order here. So this is what an order will look like. So where it's billed to, where it's shipped to, the salesperson, the posting date, and then you've got the actual product itself. So you can actually drill into the product itself and just see what you have. And it gives you all of your data here. So I'm just going to go back, pardon me. So to go from a quote to an order is really, really easy. Pardon me, now bear with me. So you can just go copy to sales order, and it just moves it along really, really seamlessly. And obviously anything that you update in the enterprise side will be updated in SAP Business One as well. So you just go copy to sales order. Sorry, now it's a little bit slow. And you can edit it where you see fit, and then press save, and then it'll become an order. So that's what it looks like. And the same can be said for orders as well. So this is what your orders looks like. You can just take a look at your orders here. Very similar to that of a quote, except it is an order. So you can see again, this is your item code. And if you want to check your stock as well to see how much you have left, that's no problem. So you can see here you've got stock on hand, you've got 35, you've got a 33.4 committed stock, you've got 10.96 free stock, and then 9 on purchase order. So that's really, really useful. And then to copy an order then to do an actual delivery is very easy as well. You just move it along like copy to sales delivery here, and it's that simple. So obviously you've got your deliveries. So this is all of your deliveries, very easy again. So everything is really kind of similar. So they all look the same, obviously, and it's just so easy to move it along the solution. So here you've got all of your deliveries. You can take a look and see exactly what the details are. So who the salesperson is, the delivery date, you've got the items, and then you've got the tax breakdown as well. So returns are here, and it's just moving it along really, really easily. And these are your invoices. And you can, again, search for your invoices by the reference number, the company. We'll take a look and see what the invoice looks like. Yeah, so this is your invoice for this. This is the customer. I actually clicked on customer, pardon me, rather than the actual invoice. So this is the customer. So I'm just going to go into an invoice. So the invoice is by the number here. So this is what the invoice will actually look like. And then you can copy it to a sales credit note if needs be, and just moving it along really, really, really seamlessly throughout the system. I'll give you a little look at delivery planning as well, because I mentioned it a little bit earlier. So you can kind of select your employee and you can allocate a delivery here. So I'll select Ingrid. And then you've got kind of a schedule here coming up, and you can just select where it needs to go to. So we'll allocate this to them, and the details will pop up. And then when you access the app, the delivery app, you can see exactly where the delivery driver will see exactly where they need to go. So yeah, so that's kind of the sales overview as well. I'm going to hand you back over to Sharon, and she's going to give you an insight as to how the actual apps work.
Great, thanks for that, Jane. Thanks a million. So just to tie in with the CRM and the sales, I'm just going to give you a quick preview on the pipeline and sales app. So just to mention as well, I meant to say, if you would like to add any questions, do add them into the Q&A, and we can answer any questions for you at the end. And of course, once the webinar is complete, we can obviously do some one-on-one demonstrations as well. So just bear with me now 1 second, and I'll just share the application. Okay, great. So there we have it. So this is, just to give you an idea, so this is the pipeline app. And when you log into the pipeline app, or any of your sales reps log into the pipeline app, they mimic what you see on screen within Enterpryze on the cloud, which is basically just the pipeline itself. So what they get to do, first of all, when they log in, it'll automatically synchronize. They can, of course, at this point in time, select the relevant stages. And just to let you know, obviously, this particular demonstration is on Android. So we'll obviously look just, again, the same options are available, of course, on iOS. So then you can just deselect or select the relevant stages that you as a salesperson want to see on a day-to-day basis. You can also run certain filters as well by opening date, expected closing date, by amount, or by ID. In addition, there's other filters here, which again are similar to the filters that you would have seen on the cloud. So select closing months, the salespeople. So again, for the salespeople, I can select who I want to look at. So if it's just me, I can just select my name on the list here. So I don't see everybody else's activity that's going on. If I just want to look at myself, I'm out on the road and I want to look after my sales. And in addition to that, of course, you can select ranges. And of course, if you've multiple organizations, otherwise, of course, it's only ever going to default to the one that you have open. So not to confuse the amount of data that's on screen. If a salesperson does work across several organizations, they can see all of their sales activity or all of their pipeline in one view, or they can just look at it by one organization within the application itself. So looking at the screen here, this is very similar to what you see on the cloud. And if I just move across here, just from lead to first meeting, second meeting, quotation, exactly the same as we would have on screen. And very simple, I'm just going to come across to this one here. I can simply tap in to see the details of that particular opportunity. And I can see all the details that have been added. I can see any custom fields, entries if they've been made. I can see any documents that have been attached. So in this particular instance here, we actually have a quote added, and you can see here it's quote number 335. And if I tap into that, can you see what it does? So seamlessly, it now opens up the Cell app. So you can see there the color of the screen has automatically changed. So what that's done is it's brought me into the Cell app. So if your sales rep is on the road, they've got the pipeline app installed, the sales app installed, and it's seamlessly integrated between all apps. So what it does when you drill into your quote that's linked to your prospect, you're straight into your sales app to see the details, all of the relevant details of that particular quotation. And then when I hit the back arrow, I'm straight back into my pipeline. So it's really good and really easy to use from that point of view. And of course, the same as with the cloud as well. We can see the various stages that have been assigned to that and where they've moved through on that particular prospect. I can, of course, click on the plus sign here. And as you can see there, I can add a new sales document. By adding a new sales document, again, this is how clever it is. It's going to take me into the sales app and give me the choice of adding the relevant sales document. So whether that's a quote, an order, I can do that from here. I can add a new stage from here. I can add a new activity as well. So if, again, just wanted to show you that if I click on add already has a linked document. So this one already has a linked document, so I can't add one into this particular one. But if I come out and go into one that hasn't got one, I can do it from there. Again, just to go back into that particular opportunity, I can, of course, close opportunities from here, and I can email my contact any details. So if you're out in the road and you've got access to Wi-Fi, you can do that. You can do all of those activities straight away. And of course, if you're looking for something and you want to move it along the pipeline, again, if you just tap on, look, you can click and drag, same as you can do on the cloud, and you can move it along to the next stage. And of course, it'll update the stage details. And then again, once you're online, that's automatic with the cloud application. And of course, if that's hitting Enterprise, it's also hitting SAP Business One. So let me just pop in real quickly there to the sales app. So we saw how when we clicked into a linked document on the pipeline, that it automatically brought us into the sales app. So the sales app is great in that you get an overview of all of your customers for starters. The same with the pipeline app, I can drill in and select the relevant organization that's relevant to me when I'm out on the road. The other thing I want to show you here in the menu is that we have a drafts option. So this is where I've mentioned when you're offline. So when you're offline and the sales rep is perhaps in the middle of nowhere, but needs to record the information before it's lost in the head, put in the quotation, put in the order, they can do that. It will go in as a draft document. Once they're back online, they can just submit the drafts. That will then update the cloud, Enterprise in the cloud, and of course, SAP Business One. And again, we can look at documents, we can look at activities, but through the customer's overview, I can drill into any of my customers' information. I can see the value, for example, for my particular customer, I can see the value of quotes and orders and invoices for that particular customer. On the right, it identifies the organization. So again, if you've multiple organizations, you can differentiate between the ones that you're looking at. So what can I do here now? I can click on my plus sign. And from here, you can see what I can do. I can add a new business partner, so a new customer or a new prospect. I can add a new contact person, new activity, new order, new quote. So I can do all of that activity from here. And just to point out as well that when you're, for example, if I was adding a new order, and let's just do that here. Just want to show you, select my organization as I'm doing that and select. I want to show you then with the stock availability, how it all comes into play. So let's say, for example, we just select our customer here and come down to add lines. So we've text lines or items. So when you select your items, let me just bring up an item here. So I can say, yeah, quantity of 1, I can finish that. I can then from here, again, once I'm on online capability, I can click the information button to take a look at my availability across my locations to see where things stand. So the estimated unit price, price after discount, the quantity, what's going to apply in regards to this particular order. I can also see my count in my warehouse locations. So it really is that powerful, even through the application itself. And in addition to that, then, as I've mentioned, if you've got any drafts, you can then submit those through the application once you're back online. And of course, there's settings there as well to set the times of how often to synchronize your data. So it's very powerful, and that combined, of course, with the cloud and of course the real-time integration with SAP Business One makes it a very, very, very powerful. And of course, you saw there when pipeline is open and sales app is open, and you go to look at a quote, it automatically brings you into the sales app. So they're seamlessly synchronized between each other. So that's it, folks. And thank you so much for joining us. And we would love to hear from you if you have any questions that you would like to ask. We would love to hear from you. So let me just check and see if we've any questions coming in there at the moment. So yeah, so one of the questions there, and I think I've answered it there, just in relation to the offline capability with the mobile app. So that's important, that if a sales rep is out on the road and they don't have online capabilities wherever they are at that moment in time, that you can see through the Sell app that they can add draft documents. And then of course, when they get to a point where they've got online capability again, they can submit the draft, which will do twofold: update the cloud application and of course as well in real time. So just have a look there. Any more questions? And just to let you know as well, of course, after today's webinar, a recording will be sent to everybody that's attended and registered for the webinar. So you'll have access to that. And of course, we will be in contact, and any further one-on-one demonstrations with regards to the SAP Business One integration, Enterprise itself, or any of the mobile apps can be done in due course for you. There's no problem at all. So just checking there, any more questions if you'd like to reach out. So again, just I think there's something there just in regards to the inventory and the inventory fulfillment. So just in regards to the cloud itself. So when you're looking at Enterprise, when you edit a line, so for example, when you're adding a line to Enterprise and adding a stock item line to Enterprise, you get a full overview of the availability for the stock item, similar to what I showed you there on the mobile app. So you'll always be able to see what you can fulfill to the order at that moment in time based on the location. And that is important. So any location you've defined in SAP Business One will come through to Enterprise. And obviously the stages, all the stages that we have as well through the CRM, they are exactly the same. They are the stages that you manage and maintain and add through SAP Business One. That's what comes through to Enterprise. Okay, great. I think that's all the questions and answers for now. And Jane, thank you so much for the demonstration. And thank you to everybody that's joined us here this morning. And like I said, we'll send you on all the relevant information. And if you want to have a look at any of our self-help resources that we have, check out enterprise.com, click on the resources. Through there, we have access to the Help Center, which is help.enterprise.com, where I've got a multitude of articles to help you navigate Enterprise and some of the mobile apps. And also within that, we have embedded videos, user videos, which generally are a maximum of 5 minutes to help you learn on the fly and use Enterprise as you go, and self-help as well along the way. And of course, any pre-recorded webinars are also available through engage.enterprise.com. So thanks everybody for joining us this morning, and we hope you have a wonderful rest of day or evening ahead of you. Thank you. And thanks, Jane.
Thank you.